A little over 50 years ago, two Northern California cowboys apparently captured a half-man, half-ape creature on film. Today, the legend of Bigfoot has a new advocate, Crestline, California resident Claudia Ackley. She is prepared to take the state to court to make her point. Our Trace Gallagher is tracking down the story for us. Trace.
Shannon, the woman claims she spotted a Bigfoot near a place called Big Bear. That's in the mountains about 75 miles east of Los Angeles. Claudia Ackley says last March she was out hiking a trail with her 14 and 11-year-old daughters. And just around dusk, 6:30, 7 o'clock, they came across not one, not two, but three hirsute bipeds, better known as Sasquatches. Ackley says one of the creatures was 30 feet up a tree, and she describes it weighing some 800 pounds with a barrel chest and a head 3 times the size of a human. She says it had solid black eyes and resembled a Neanderthal. When she howled at it, she says the Bigfoot started rocking back and forth in the tree, shaking the branches. Now, she told her daughters to slowly walk away, but check this out. Her youngest got cell phone video. I mean, we can't confirm it's legit, but it sure looks like a big animal, kind of like a giant orangutan. Listen to the girl's reaction.
I swear to God, Mom.
I see it. Is it by the tree?
Yeah.
Yeah, a forest ranger later insisted they saw bears, but it sure didn't look like a bear. Claudia Ackley has now teamed up with the man behind the Netflix film Discovering Bigfoot, and she is also suing the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, accusing it of not acknowledging the existence of Sasquatch, despite what she calls a mountain of evidence. She claims that not acknowledging Bigfoot has had a chilling effect on studying the beast and has relegated it to paranormal research. She also believes it has damaged her credibility. Fish and Wildlife won't talk about the lawsuit, but it does say Bigfoot is not a recognized species. And even though there have been Sasquatch sightings for 90 years in California, even the biggest Bigfoot researchers admit the evidence is a bit lacking. But Claudia Ackley says she plans to introduce a plethora of evidence in court. And I got to tell you, the cell phone video, if it's real, it's pretty compelling stuff. Shannon?
All right, Trace, I'm going to try not to get myself in trouble with this. I'm just going to read you what she says. All right, does Claudia Ackley have a case against the state of California? It is time for Night Court. Joining me now, arguing for California criminal defense and trial attorney Gary Gerstenfield, and arguing that Claudia does have a case, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Nima Haddadi. Thank you both for being with us. Sure. All right, so what folks, I want them to understand what she's alleging. You're already laughing, Gary. I'm trying not to.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is part of what she had to say in her complaint. She says, by respondents, and that's the state, by respondents' denial of the existence of Sasquatch, petitioner's credibility has been diminished. Her dignity has been damaged. She is ostracized, subjected to embarrassment and ridicule, and her right to establish a legitimate Sasquatch-based business has been infringed upon. Gary?
Well, I mean, absolutely. And of course, you know, the Loch Ness Monster, werewolves, vampires, and dragons, I mean, you know, they're the next set of
That
animals.
Loch Ness thing might be real.
Right, well, absolutely.
I've seen photos.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where
That's Bigfoot calling you right now.
Yeah, I'm getting phone calls about it. No, okay, first of all, does she have the right to bring a lawsuit? The answer is no, of course not. She doesn't have standing. She does, when we talk about licenses, things of that nature, what her basis of her lawsuit would be is that she's somehow being denied the right to do something that a license or permit would give her to do, and that's not the case here at all. She doesn't have standing. More importantly, as an administrative matter, she has to go through and exhaust all her administrative rights because her fight is with a state agency. That's kind of boring. But the real point of it is that they don't exist. You can't bring a lawsuit for something that doesn't exist.
Listen, she's going to show up. She says she's got wildlife experts and all kinds of folks who are going to come in and testify. She's got the cell phone video. Nima, she says one of her complaints is that you guys, California, are not living up to your mission statement. The California Department of Fish and Wildlife, this is the mission statement. It's the mission of the department to manage California's diverse fish, wildlife, and plant resources and the habitats upon which they depend for their ecological values and for their use and enjoyment by the public. She says you are not doing that by refusing to study and admit that there is a Sasquatch.
You know, at the end of the day, I think every person deserves to have their day in court. We shouldn't be the gatekeepers of justice. Give her a chance. The whole point of court is to find the truth. Let the court find her truth.
Okay, but what about these agencies? Do you think that they're really going to have to, because so far they haven't said much. This is from one article. A Fish and Wildlife spokesman, Andrew Hugan, declined to comment citing the lawsuit. He did say that Bigfoot is not a recognized species by his agency. So, you know, where do you go from here? She says that it's a danger to the public. Nobody's tracking these things. She said these things are 800 pounds, Nima, and no one's protecting the public.
You know, that's what court's for, I think. Let her prove her case. She's going to bring biologists. She's going to bring anthropologists. Let her prove her case. Let her have the burden of proof on her. Let her show us that Bigfoot does exist.
Well, Gary, she does say that she's leaving candy and snacks and trying to teach the language.
The language of Bigfoot.
The language
well, actually,
to Sasquatch so they can communicate.
Yeah, it is possible, in fact, that she has found, you know, she describes this animal as big and hairy and dark and scary, and I think what she's talking about possibly is Harvey Weinstein.
No. That's a different legal case, a much different legal case. In the meantime, she's got a hearing on March 19th. I'm dying to go. I got a show to do, but maybe we'll take it on the road. Nima, how do you think the judge is going to respond to this? I mean, she's representing herself. She's not using a lawyer. I don't think she's a lawyer, but essentially she's filed this paperwork and everything on her own.
I think the judge should take it pretty seriously. At the end of the day, this is something that affects this woman's life. She cares very much about it. I think give her a shot. You know, every person does deserve their day in court. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. I think that justice is going to prevail in this. I think everyone should end up pretty happy at the end of the day.
I guess it all depends on how you define justice. Okay, Nima and Gary, we appreciate you being with us on this special Bigfoot edition of Night Court. More news next.